There you are. I want to talk to you today about the reasons people join cults and what your church can do about it. Today we're going to look at those reasons, and next time we're going to look at what your church can do. And I think there are 5 key reasons people join cults. I'm sure there must be more that people can think of, but these are really important reasons. And I do get asked this question: why do people join cults? The truth is, no one joins a cult. It's rather like going to the shop and buying a gadget, a food mixer, a blender, a power drill. And you get it home and you're excited and you open the box and you plug it in and you start using it. And it doesn't do what you expected it to do. It hasn't lived up to the advertising and you're disappointed. It's rather like that when you join a cult. You don't join a cult, you join a community. You join a community of people with whom you've come to identify. People in cults join the community for a variety of reasons. They join because they're lonely. Maybe they've had a crisis in their life and somebody's knocked their door. They're looking for meaning. They want to be needed. They're looking to be affirmed. They want to avoid the sinfulness of the world. There's plenty of wickedness around us. And they want to serve God. And the community rewards them. It brings them friendship, purpose, a sense of being needed, a sense of significance, affirmation, a refuge from the world. It certainly is that, and a way to serve God. It's a settled community that seems to have answers no one else has, or at least addresses issues no one else wants to address. They've been invited, they've been included, they've been given purpose, taught a doctrine that explains the world to them, that helps them to explain the world to themselves. And they've become part of a community. And that's not a bad thing. The problem is, what they offer is fake. Step out of line, and you soon find out who your friends are. Your sense of acceptance depends on your performance. How many hours have you put in? Faithfulness is defined as following the leaders unquestioningly. Cults are proactive in seeking out converts. And when they find one, they know exactly what they want to do with them. And that's an important lesson for the church. When they find their converts, they know exactly what they want to do. Jehovah's Witnesses will want to visit regularly, do a book study, get you to the Kingdom Hall, get you integrated into their little community. Mormons will be the same. They'll want to spend time with you. They'll want to go through the missionary lessons with you, invite you to church, particularly on a testimony Sunday, get you part of the community. Now, the contact doesn't think of this as an invitation to join a cult, and neither does the person doing the inviting think that they're doing anything but good. No one joins a cult. And there are 5 things that for me stand out as key to gaining people's trust and loyalty, to building this conversion experience in the cults. The first one is the invite. Both Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses have well-established outreach programs. Every Jehovah's Witness, depending on their health, of course, is expected to give time to field work, to knocking on doors, to standing next to a cart on the street corner. While the Mormon Church is known for its army of young missionaries, generations of Mormons have been encouraged to think of themselves as missionaries at home. The church president of a different era, David O. McKay, coined the phrase, "every member a missionary," and it was eventually taken up across the church. You know, of course, with other churches, there is a certain amount of nominalism in these places, but there's no question in anyone's mind about this most fundamental aspect of involvement in the group. Both Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons have a membership that takes seriously the call to go and make disciples. The next step that is really important is the narrative. Both Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons have a story to tell. For both, it's about apostasy in the early church, a swift decline into heresy. Both see the early church and the early church councils and the resulting creeds and confessions as evidence of confusion, born of a falling away from plain, simple truth. For Jehovah's Witnesses, the story tells of a restoration of those plain and simple truths through Charles Russell in his early Bible student groups. For Mormons, the restoration of truth and authority is really big in the Mormon church. That restoration came through their founding prophet, Joseph Smith. Now, both Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses are very familiar with their founding story and its development. You know, in John's Gospel in chapter 1, Philip cried, "We have found the one Moses wrote about in the law, and about whom the prophets also wrote." And so it is with cult members. They want to say, "We have found the way." The third point I want to raise with you is purpose. What is the purpose of all this? The purpose of all this activity for Jehovah's Witnesses is to gather people into the truth. For Mormons, it's much the same. It's to offer people the opportunity to be part of God's great plan of happiness. And convinced of the good in their message and the urgency of the need, they'll invite friends and family and neighbours and work colleagues to church events, to do a book study, to meet the missionaries, to discuss further the pressing questions on their minds. It's all about the purpose of life, and everybody's looking for purpose. They're quite certain life has a purpose, and they simply wish to clear away what they see as the fog of generations of tradition so that you can see the path to redemption. You know, the woman at the well ran to tell her neighbours in John's Gospel, "Come, see a man who told me everything I ever did. Could this be the Christ?" And so it is with cult members. They believe they have found clarity, they have found the way, and they want to share it with others. The fourth important point is the doctrine. Now, Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses have a well-rehearsed apologetic for their faith. They'll understand it at different levels, of course, from the most basic arguments through to the more complex explanations for what they believe. Most can, however, give an account at some level of the things that they believe. And when they run out of their own resources, when they run out of what they know, their personal knowledge and understanding, they have resources that they can call upon. They can call the missionaries in. They can call a more mature member of the community in to help. And doctrine is high on their list of priorities. Like Paul in Athens, they can, when asked, answer the question, "What do you believe?" And the final point is this. Behind all this gospeling activity is a local community of believers who belong in the story and who will wholeheartedly welcome newcomers into that story. And it is into the story newcomers are invited. It's an invitation to understand, to be involved, and to commitment. It involves discipleship, development, encouragement, and ownership of the narrative of the faith. People don't join cults. They join communities that seek them out, give them answers, offer them love, provide purpose and structure for their lives. There are issues, of course, we've already said that. There are doctrinal errors. There's the legalism that's bound to be in the cult. There is the manipulation that distinguishes the cult from the true Christian church. And Reachout exists to warn about these things. And we've not gone soft and into faith on the cults. Don't get that idea. But the basic principles of invitation, narrative, purpose, doctrine, and community are fundamental to our own Christian faith. How might we better use these to reach the lost in the cults, to guard against error? And what will it take for a local church to become effective in equipping its members to share the good news with confidence. That's what I want to share next time. God bless you in your witnessing and your walk with Christ.